A Metro police officer has been shot.
Ricky, yeah, like you said, we're on scene at UMC. We were one of the first ones here. We watched the injured officer come in the ambulance about 20 minutes ago. They pulled up right to the door.
The round went into the arm, the upper bicep, traveled down the arm. It kind of went out of the armpit and back into the armpit, then down off of the ribs, and then out my back. I believe he fired 3 times. Only hit me once.
The officer is up and talking, and he is going to survive.
If you're a victim of a crime, you're just as important to us as we are when our own officers become victims. But you have to think of the mindset of the suspect that is willing to take on a police officer and fire upon a police officer.
Officers came from everywhere. I didn't get to see it, till afterwards. I heard some of it while I was in actually the hospital in trauma. After they did the CAT scan and stuff, they had me laying there, and I could hear other officers showing up at the hospital. I could still hear the radio traffic where they're looking for that guy, and I could just hear the team effort and the input that they were telling me, everyone involved. Yeah, they came from everywhere, set up a perimeter. The sheriff was there, units from all over the valley were there, trying to locate them. It was a great group effort.
Only to be captured a few hours later.
No, I don't think I'm different. I'm just grateful. That the training that the department has given me through the years, that it did kick in. I didn't just freeze up. I was able to, realize, hey, this is a threat. You're not, doomed, and survive.
And he goes hands-on with the guy, and they start to kind of fight.
His back is to me, and I'm still trying to, work him and trying to put him down onto the ground.
I can see that the guy's trying to fight and spin away, and Todd's got him by the shirt, and his shirt's riding up, and I can see the gun in his waistband. And I can also see that Todd's got him by like the left arm and the shirt, and his right arm's free, and Todd's behind him, and he can't see the front where the gun is at.
And he starts screaming, gun, gun, gun.
And as I'm yelling, gun, 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 the guy's reaching for the gun. And I'm still yelling because he still doesn't know that he's reaching for the gun. And it was just, it's pure adrenaline terror because I could see what's going to happen.
It took a real quick second to process what he was actually saying, but then when I realized, oh my God, he's screaming gun.
And he starts to pull the gun out, and he's got it at about a 45-degree angle, and Todd's still about a foot away from it behind him. And I start yelling, drop the gun. And all of a sudden, I think Todd realizes what's happening and starts to push off.
I pushed off as hard as I could, and it was almost simultaneous, where when I pushed off, pop, 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 Griffin shot him.
I knew the guy was going to shoot him because the whole time he was pulling his gun, he was looking directly at Todd's face. I went from the thought process of running up and trying to tackle and fight, probably within about 3 seconds it was over. It had happened that fast. I tried to replay it in my mind, and I actually timed it to say, gun, 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 drop the gun, and it takes about 2.5 seconds. That's how fast it went from hands-on to shots fired and down.
If Griffin wasn't there, there's probably a good chance that I'd suffer a fatal wound, if not a substantial, injury. So, thank God, I owe him my life.
This guy had a death wish, and he wasn't going to stop until he was made to be stopped.
The instinct kicked in immediately. We all immediately went to our training, setting up perimeters, treating it like a barricade originally until he continued moving on. But all those things kind of happened really rapidly, and we all transitioned knowing, all right, it's a barricade, it's not anymore. It's essentially an active shooter into this last house. From there, I was set up across the street with a rifle.
He saw the suspect standing over the victim with the weapon, and he defended the victim, and he was trying to preserve her life. And he shot the suspect from that position that he was at.
As it currently stands right now, we have an officer-involved shooting where the suspect is deceased. We have his accomplice who is in custody. We have one female who was shot in the second home invasion We have one female who was stabbed in the first home invasion, as well as the resident male who was shot, and he succumbed to his injuries at the local hospital.
He probably would have continued on, and whoever else got in his way continued to engage them until he physically couldn't or ran out of ammo, or until he was stopped.
What Ryan did that day was absolutely amazing. Ryan's a hero. Ryan did something, and he worked in a high-pressure situation. His training took over, his professionalism took over, and he did everything that he needed to do.
She made it very clear and very known to me with what she was telling me and her actions that she wanted to hurt me and or kill me.
Acknowledge use on the 417. A female is currently in the street. She keeps threatening to PR. She's armed with 2 knives now.
And that's when she rushed my patrol car with the knives, and that's when I exited the car and started asking her to drop the knives.
Shots fired. I have the female down on the roadway. Rural medical.
I think it was less than a minute, like from the moment I told the dispatcher that I was going to be out with the lady with the knives to the moment I called out saying, hey, shots fired. It was just a matter of seconds. It was very, very quick. Mentally, I'm more ready, as in knowing that, yes, that's more than likely it can happen. So yes, it has changed me in that way, where before I'd go on calls and I'd think, oh, we're just gonna handle it and be done, thinking that'll never be you, but now knowing that, yeah, that's a very high possibility of something like that happening.
He was trying to kill me. I mean, I don't have a doubt in my mind he was trying to kill me. He was in there, he already has a murder case. He was able to get behind me, put an arm, you know, he had wrapped his arm around my neck, trying to kill me, trying to choke me out, basically. I was able to get out of that, regain control, take him to the ground, and by that time the sergeants had came, they got into the module, and basically that was pretty much it. I mean, I'm summing it up real quick. I mean, it seemed like it was forever while it was going on. Watching the video seems like it took forever, but I mean, the whole thing just, I mean, it happened just in the blink of an eye. These aren't your friends. I mean, no one wants to come to jail in the first place. No one wants to be there. The whole time it's going on, you're just, you know, your mindset's just getting out of it. End of the day, I'm going home with my family. So that was it.